NATO leaders meeting in Brussels on Thursday agreed to beef up their eastern flank in the face of the war waged by Russia in Ukraine. They decided during an emergency meeting in Brussels to set up 4 more battle groups in Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania and Slovakia, as well as warning China not to support Russia's war. One battle group usually numbers between 1,000 to 1,500 troops. NATO has already increased its presence on its eastern borders with some 40,000 troops between the Baltic and the Black Sea. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg warned that Russia may be using chemical weapons.
So we are concerned, partly because we see the rhetoric and we see that Russia is trying to create some kind of pretext accusing Ukraine, United States, NATO allies for preparing to use chemical and biological weapons. And we have seen before that this way of accusing others is actually a way to create a pretext for do the same themselves. And of course, the accusations against Ukraine and NATO allies are absolutely false.
He added that the leaders decided to provide support to Ukraine against chemical, biological and nuclear weapon attacks, while enhancing allies' preparedness and readiness for such threats. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky joined the summit via video link. He appealed to NATO leaders to give military support without any restrictions. Zelensky warned that Russia would next target alliance members in Eastern Europe.
I'm sure you understand that Russia has no intention of stopping in Ukraine. It wants to go further. Against the eastern members of NATO, the Baltic states, Poland, for sure. Will NATO then stop thinking about it, stop worrying about how Russia will react? Who can be sure of that? And do you have confidence that Article 5 will work?
He complained the West had not provided fighter jets, tanks, anti-ship weapons and improved air defences. A G7 meeting following the NATO summit brought Japan into the room with 6 NATO members, which discussed sanctions against Moscow. Then a summit of the 27-nation European Union. Across the 3 meetings, countries representing more than half of the world's gross domestic product will have met in one day. EU leaders are expected to agree at their 2-day summit to jointly buy gas, and Brussels also hopes for a deal with US President Joe Biden to secure additional US liquefied natural gas supplies for the next 2 winters. Eddie Aitken, NTD News.